Okay, hi Raymond, it's Dr. Buford. I'm here with the rest of the team. We're just getting started on the left shoulder. We're looking at it from the back to the front. Everything that you see is magnified 30 or 40 times on the screen, and we're just getting started here. You're laying on your side, so that's why your arm is actually up towards the top of the screen and the socket part of the joints along the bottom. First thing we look for is your biceps tendon, which is right here on the right side of this shaver. And that looks fine so far. We'll look down at the ankle. It's got a little bit of kind of wear and tear fraying in it. But by and large, that's not too bad. Okay, now we're going to hold the shaver. Let me see your collar. Yeah. We're going to rotate and look around towards the back of the shoulder here. This is the posterior aspect of the joint. This is the one. Pause for a second. Okay, so here we are looking at the back of the shoulder. This looks great. Again, a few wear and tear changes, but nothing too bad. We'll be able to smooth out a little bit of the labrum, but it's in pretty good shape. Now we're going to come up and look at the rotator cuff. You've got an interesting little fold in here. This is probably your body's attempt to heal what was a partial tear, maybe. And that's why the MRI looked a little bit funky as well, because of this little divot right where my shaver is. So we'll have a good look at that from the other side too. We'll take a marker stitch and mark that area so we can find it very quickly when we change positions with your shoulder. But if that's all you have, I think we can just, we can even put it side to side. Let's get a spinal. We'll put it side to side with the PDS just across it. Just a ripstop. So now we're going to look down the front of the shoulder. And then way at the bottom we can access that better from the back, so we'll change positions in just a moment here. But otherwise that looks pretty good. Okay, so let's do this. Let's rotate me back around. Let me go push in the chain over. Which one do you want to do? Okay, hold still. Especially the camera. We're going to take a spinal needle. We don't want to get the biceps, but we do want to get to the right a little bit more, like 3 o'clock. Just rotate. Let me see something. Focus. I want to get that a little bit lower just to function a bit more as a ripstop.
Try to get in the cable.
Yeah, just looking at the camera in the back. So here we are in the front. So here we are. We passed the stitch around. You can see how that closes down the gap nicely. We're going to go ahead and switch the camera because I want to maybe debride a little bit of the labrum in the back. But that's what we wanted to do for the cuff at this point, possibly. Okay, so we've just finished taking off a little bit of bone from the undersurface of the acromion, which is this bone at the top of the screen. That's kind of the roof of the shoulder. And you had a fair amount of inflammation in this area and a pretty good sized bone spur, and that's why this cuff is torn. This is what the MR showed us that we couldn't see from inside the joint. Couldn't see well. We had a hint, but we couldn't see it as well. Now that we're up above, we can see where this tendon's torn. See right there? And so that's right over where it's torn down below on the other side. So given that, we're going to go ahead and make a little opening here and suture this down to the bone. Because right here, it's essentially just hanging on by a thread, as they say. Pause, please. Okay, we're just about to make a little starter hole in the bone for our suture anchor. So you'll see a little instrument that we call a punch coming down. There it is right there. Here's the little hole in the tendon. Looks like we've got that far enough. Maybe we'll take a little bit more. Give that to the scope. Just one second. And next we're going to take a suture anchor and put that down into that hole we just made. So you'll see that here in just a second. There it is. Get that down in the bone. Give me a quick check. No, never mind. It's going to be okay. We'll go ahead and unload the screwdriver next. Okay, so we'll spread these sutures apart and decide what order we're going to use them in. So we're going to start with the black and white one. Okay. Now from the right side of the screen, we're going to take an instrument called the suture hook. See right here. There it is. Also, we'll make sure that we get as far back posterior as we need to. And then outside the shoulder, we're going to load that wire with the black and white suture. And when we pull back, you'll see what that looks like here. There it goes there. And there it is on the other side. So turn to the left. And so we'll pull tight when we back up and show you what it looks like. So now the next step is to take the partner suture, which is this other black and white one. And then we're going to look at these other two. Looks like we want the blue one next. So we'll take this one off the back. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and take a turn to the left suture hook. There's the hook right here. So look at the camera. Now the next thing is we want to get a stitch down somewhere here. There you can see us poke through. Pause, please. Okay, we're just tying these sutures now one at a time. We're starting in the back. And as we push down, you'll see that hole start to close down. So in just a minute we'll cut this suture and move on to the next one in line. You have the katana. Okay, let's cut that. And then we'll move on to the next suture in line, which should be this blue one here. Okay. We'll show you some more in just a minute. Okay, we're all done here. We've got that tendon anchored down to the bone with one anchor and 3 sutures. I'm very happy. Oops, let me show you a little better than that. I'm very happy with the way it looks. We'll rotate the arm here. We'll rotate the arm here and show you what the finished result looks like. See how that's all solidly moving together? So that's great. We're going to finish up and get you back to the recovery room shortly. Good luck to you now. Bye-bye.